Perfect. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so very much for joining us. I'm Maria Genovese, and I am the Director of Marketing and Communications at Sustainable Westchester. And on behalf of our entire team, we want to thank the City of New Rochelle for their support, their partnership, and for all of the hard work they've done to promote these important programs. And I am now going to turn it over to your Mayor, Bramson, for some brief remarks, and then our team will get back going with the presentation.
Maria, thanks very much. And I will indeed be brief because I know everyone's eager to get into the meat of things. And let me also welcome everyone, say thank you for joining us. I'm just looking through the names and I see a bunch of friends who are on this. So I'm glad to be with each of you. As you probably know, sustainability has been an increasing focus for the city government for years now, particularly when it comes to energy savings and energy efficiency. And Sustainable Westchester has really been an invaluable partner on every level. It's the preeminent regional organization that is advancing these goals, and we are so fortunate to benefit from their guidance and from the programs that they have been able to sponsor. And of course, when we have an opportunity to both go green and save money at the same time, that's really a no-brainer. So this is an opportunity to And I hope that through this process, you'll learn more, you'll take advantage of it yourselves, and that you will do what you can to spread the word among other neighbors so that as many people as possible in New Rochelle can do what's good for the planet and do what's good for themselves. So I'll turn it back to Sustainable, and thank you all very much.
Oh, thank you so much, Mayor, for those really kind remarks. And give us just 1 second, everyone. Claire is going to begin to screen share the presentation, and I'm just going to take you through a very brief context for these programs, and then we're going to just dig right into the meat and all of the details of the programs. So again, this is a community energy workshop, and today we're going to be focusing primarily on 2 easy energy actions. And as the mayor noted, both of these actions are save energy, help us make a transition to a clean energy future, but they also help you save money. And in one regard, they actually help you earn cash. So you'll hear a little bit more about those, but right now, for context, we generally like to talk about how there's really a multi-layered sort of crisis going on, and everyone talks about the need for addressing the challenges of climate change. And sadly for us as a nation, and certainly as a global community, the effects of COVID have kind of sharpened the focus and underscored the need for us to make some active changes in how we live our lives in terms of consuming energy and the like. And we see that the climate change challenge has paralleled COVID in many ways. We've learned even more that it requires collective action, and that's all of us as members of the community and communities as members of the county to work together. It requires a long-term view. We wish that there was a quick switch to flip, but we all know that that is not the case. And we've seen, of course, the global issue with COVID and the global issue with climate change, but we know here, certainly in Westchester County, that the climate change and the COVID issue have had significant impact on us, and there are significant implications. I mean, members of our community, unfortunately, have been severely impacted with COVID. We know surely that is also true of climate change in lower moderate income communities and often communities of color. And we've all seen the effects of climate change. We see more frequent storms, kind of erratic weather patterns. And I am, like you, on the Sound Shore of the county, and we know sadly about flooding and downed trees and all of those implications. And then lastly, I just want to again say that in all of this, we really see that there's sort of been underscored in a sharper focus on the need to address the inequities that exist in our diverse county in terms of environmental justice. So if I take a look at the next slide, kind of layered on top of that implication and that sort of moral mandate is, gratefully for us, living in New York State, we have some very aggressive climate goals, and you may have heard about the Climate Leadership and Community Protection Act. And while those goals are aggressive, it's going to take a bit to get there. You can see on this slide that one of the goals is to achieve 70% renewable energy by 2030, which is 9 years away and essentially tomorrow in terms of the need to act. And 70% is a pretty big number. And when we look at the fact that we're only currently at 28%, the differential, there's a lot to go. And another critical goal is zero emissions by 2040. Quite lofty and robust goals. And so the next question we ask ourselves is, how do we get there? And the answer we talk about at Sustainable Westchester, and we bring to our member municipalities, cities like New Rochelle and the other 44 municipalities around the county and its residents, are community energy programs. And what is it about community energy programs that will help us get there? They give us access to affordable, clean, renewable power and broad access for residents, small businesses, and large businesses alike. The benefit of bringing affordable, clean, renewable power and energy programs and community energy programs is it helps boost a green economy and provides green jobs, and not just in New York State, but in Westchester County as well. Obviously, it helps us address climate change, and for all of us, really, it's about securing a good future for our children. I know that I may not be here in 30 years to benefit from it, but my children and their children hopefully will in fact be benefiting from all of the work that we as a community collective do now. And then of course, it improves air quality and health. And COVID certainly has brought to light the fact that that is critical for healthy, resilient communities. And before we switch to the next slide, I want to point out one thing that is always a, oh, wow moment in these presentations, is that the American Lung Association currently gives Westchester County an F grade in terms of air quality. So certainly we can do better. And if we take a look at the next slide, we ask ourselves, how do we get there? And Sustainable Westchester provides solutions to help us get there. The benefit of what we provide is that we work with all 44, there are 45, but we work with 44 of the 45 municipalities in the county and the county itself to use collective clout, collective action, collective buying power to bring programs that can help us move to a clean energy transition. The first of those programs are what we call community energy programs. And in New Rochelle, you are part of the Westchester Power Program. And that is a community electricity program that provides 100% renewable electricity into the grid. So we're greening the grid. Community solar, which I won't talk about because Claire is going to go into detail. Then once we have this kind of clean energy going into the grid and going into our homes, we can add on to that energy efficiency and clean heating and cooling technologies through our Energy Smart Homes programs. And those are air source and ground source heat pumps, weatherization, and the like. And then for us, another layer of using that clean energy once it's in our homes is transitioning to electric vehicles, or even more broadly across the county, clean transportation. Then layering on top of that are grid efficiency programs. And those are programs that allow us to have greater grid control, potentially eliminate the use of dirty fossil fuel burning alternatives, and also see some savings in helping to mitigate the demand pricing. Another program, so of there is GridRewards, which Michelle will tell you tons about, so I'll skip past that, and a virtual power plant program, which is a battery, a solar to battery storage program, so that your home actually operates as its own power plant. And then zero waste. We can never talk about a transition to clean energy without recognizing that even small actions that we all take to recycle, reuse, rethink, buy what we need, and do thoughtful waste management is critical to creating a cleaner, healthier environment. And with that, I am going to move forward and turn it over to Claire, and she's going to talk to you about our solar programs, but specifically community solar.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much, Maria. I'm Claire Kokoska. I'm one of the managers for the Community Solar Program here at Sustainable Westchester. But before I talk about community solar, I always like going back to where it all began with our solar program here at Sustainable Westchester, because it's important to understand where we came from to know where it is that we're trying to go. When we began our solar program here at Sustainable Westchester, it was the Solarize Westchester program and initiative. And some of you might have heard about it, but we worked with in 22 different municipalities across campaigns with volunteer groups and sustainability committees and the municipalities themselves and just community members that were really interested in spreading the word to help bring lower cost solar installations to those communities that we worked with. And that led to 600 rooftop solar installations on homes and businesses and houses of worship. And we are so proud of the work that all of those hundreds of people did to make that happen. And it was a huge undertaking, and that is something to be proud of, the result. But it turns out that 85% of the people that were even interested in solar on their rooftops couldn't proceed any further. As you all know, rooftop solar can be pretty expensive and pricey up front. You have to finance the solar panels and you have to coordinate with the installers. It takes a lot of a time investment on your part. And then even if you do have all those factors in place, you need to be a homeowner to have just the right roof with just the right conditions. It can't be shaded. It has to be, the roof has to be in good condition and facing just the right way to catch that sunlight. So for a whole host of reasons, the vast majority of people that wanted to benefit from solar weren't able to. So we knew that we had to come up with the next evolution of the program to make it more accessible. And so this question, what if anyone could benefit from solar, was on our minds for the last couple of years of the Solarize Westchester program. And the result was our Community Solar program. And Community Solar is a program that we launched in 2018. And it started off with a really small community solar farm in Montrose, and it's grown a lot since then. But how it differs from traditional solar is that instead of having to install solar on your very own rooftop, if you're a homeowner, for example, just about anyone, renters and homeowners, those in condos or apartments, even houses of worship in towns and villages themselves, can sign up to a community solar farm. And this community solar farm is usually located on a large rooftop. And so it's really making use of unused space. So that community solar farm generates solar power, and that goes into the local electricity grid, which powers the whole community and makes the electricity supply much greener. And so the people that join specific community solar farms are participating in that farm to help produce that green energy for the community. And then as a result, they get discounts on their electric bills each month. And every single month, anyone that's enrolled in community solar saves up to 10% off of their monthly electric bills with Con Ed. And again, there's no roof needed because community solar doesn't work the way traditional solar works. It's free to join. People that are interested in signing up, just do so online. And we'll talk a little bit about that more in the sign up workshop portion of this event later. But it's easy to sign up online in just a few minutes. There's no fee to cancel either. If you need to cancel or if you move, we know that life circumstances can change quickly. So you're not locked into anything at all in terms of time or anything else. And you're directly supporting that solar development locally, which is what we really all need to reach the renewable energy goals that not just the state has set, but that we all know that we want to work towards for our neighbors and our community and future generations. And then some of you I know might have Con Ed as your electricity supplier, but some of you might be a part of the Westchester Power Program or another electric supply company. So community solar is compatible with those as well. No need to change any of that. And I just wanted to take a minute to talk about exactly how community solar works. So every single month, you, well, just to back up a little bit more, as you're signing up to Community Solar, you let us know a little information about your Con Ed account. You would just submit a Con Ed bill, and that would let us see about how much electricity you use each month. And then based on that, we will designate a portion of the community solar farm to you. So every single month, that portion of the community solar farm that's yours, it's generating solar power, and whatever solar power that generates is your solar credit, and it's just a dollar value. So every single month, you earn a solar credit based on how much solar energy is generated on your behalf at the solar farm. And that appears on your Con Ed bill and lowers your Con Ed bill by that amount. So then you pay Con Ed the new lower total after the solar credit is subtracted from it. And then you auto pay your solar farm for that solar credit, but at a 10% discount. So each and every month, whatever your solar credit is, you save 10% off of that, and you save that for the month. So we say it's like buying a $100 gift card for $90. And so community solar is just a very easy way to lock in savings every single month on your electricity bills. And we all know Con Ed electric bills aren't going down anytime soon. So this is a good way to make sure that you're keeping your electric costs lower for now and for the future. And I also just wanted to show you what it would look like on your Con Ed bill. So this looks familiar to probably all of you. It's just the first page of your Con Ed bill. And if we look at this as an example, I'm hoping you can see my cursor here, but I'm circling around where it shows the Con Ed electricity charges. And in this case, let's say it's $115 of electricity charges. That includes every part of your electricity bill. And the line right here says adjustments, and that's Con Ed speak for solar credits. So the solar credit this month was $100. And so it shows up here as negative $100, and you would pay Con Ed only $15. So they show you the new low total at the bottom there. So once you get your Con Ed bill with the solar credit taken off of it, and you pay that smaller amount, sometimes it might be zero, you will get an email from the Community Solar Program a little bit later saying, hey, congratulations, you've earned this solar credit, and in about a week from now, you'll be charged for that solar credit at the 10% off. And it'll highlight what your solar credit was for the month and what your savings will be, so that you can just see that right there. And it also shows your environmental impact for that month, which is also really great to see. And, you know, we all know that the whole reason why all of us are doing this is to be environmentally friendly. But it does help to save along the way as well. And I just want to say that so far we've had about over 1,600 people as a part of the program for community solar, and they're currently a part of a community solar farm. And that just goes to show that this collective community solar effort is so important, and we wouldn't have been able to support so much new solar in the county if it weren't for all of those people taking that individual action into their own hands to support solar in this way. So the state can set whatever goals it wants, but ultimately it's up to all of us to take that action and do whatever it is we can to be environmentally friendly. And community solar is a great way to do that. And at the end, I'm happy to answer questions, and we'll talk a little bit more about how to join and sign up if you're interested. But for now, I'd like to pass it along to Michelle Delafontaine, who is going to let you know about GridRewards.
Thank you, Claire. Next slide, please. So what grid efficiency? Grid efficiency, well, if we talk about it, it means it's not efficient right now. We want to make it more efficient. Why is that? It's because it has been designed basically 130 years ago with in mind the highest demand that the whole grid is putting on. And by designing it so, it is oversized and does not function well. Not only that, but in some point of the year during the hot day of summer, it is at its max. And at its max, we had to relocate or locate very dirty generation in the points where close to the uses, where we can supply the high demand that, for instance, air conditioners are putting on the grid. And these are just a few days of the year, and I will explain that later on. But here we designed a program that helps eliminate these because they are very dirty and unhealthy for disadvantaged community, mostly where they are located. Next slide. That is shown here. This is a report for the Beaker Coalition. Look at the numbers. They're really awful. You know, they are representing all these local generation of emissions. They're CO2, NOxes and SOxes, as we call them. And they create unhealthy conditions for the folks living around them. So we'd like to get rid of them. So one way of doing so, next slide, is, and once again, this slide shows the cost. Not only is that unhealthy and dirty, but also costs a lot of money. Everyone is paying into this, $4.5 billion just to keep this machinery in place for just a few hours a year is just outrageous. Next slide. So on the left side of this slide here, you see an individual account heat map. What is a heat map? Well, today in Westchester County, everyone has a smart meter. A smart means that it is recording every hour usage that you are having on in your home. And when you look at the heat map here on the left side, everything is fine. It's green means it's low. But this is a picture of last year's July 15 through July 22 of an average Westchester County residential customer. And at a certain point of time, at July 18, we get very hot weather, more than 95 degrees outside. And obviously people are cranking up their AC. And what's happening is a lot more usage. And you see on that heat map, it goes from 1.2 to 7.8. Well, it is represented on the right side as a response to that demand. The generation has to pick up that slack. And it goes up, you know, to the gray area until it can't anymore. And then we have to call these dirty peakers. We call them peaking resources. So what is happening here is that we are calling these local generation, and that is spewing large amounts of emissions. How can we act upon this, and how can we make it not happen? Well, there's a way of doing so. Next slide. Is to enroll into what we call GridRewards, or demand response program. It is a program run by Con Edison. Con Edison pays the people not to run their AC during a few hours a year. And they pay basically every single ratepayer who's participating in the demand response program. And this is the first in the state. This is a new thing that Sustainable Westchester put together with our partner Logical Buildings, who is our aggregator in this case. So first in the state, in residential demand response program, where people just for a few hours a year up their thermostat, just up the thermostat by 4 or 5 degrees during these events. And I'll talk about events a few days, 4 or 5 days during the summer. And at the end of the season, they get a check in the mail. That's a no-brainer. Like community solar, this is a no-brainer. Next slide. So how do you do this? Well, it's easy. You download an application on your mobile phone and you follow the instructions. Part of the instruction, many folks had issues with that. Part of the instruction need to have a Con Edison online account. So you have to have your credentials for your Con Edison ready when you do this. So this application, once downloaded, provides you with a lot of information. Your carbon footprint, your almost, I would say, almost real-time usage, because the whole data that was shown on the heat map is available to you. And next slide. It's also telling you when to participate to what we call events. So 4 or 5 days during the 5 months of the summer, from May 1st until September 30th, you're going to be getting, if you're enrolled, a notification, what we call a push notification, a text message like be ready. It's either 2 hours in advance or 21 hours in advance. Be ready to go around the house and drop and shed all the loads possible for the time that you've been given to do so. On the third picture there on this slide, it gives you a whole list of things you can do. So the application suggests you what to do, but you have to do them. Like, even if you have a window AC, turn it off. If you have a thermostat and the central air, just up by 4 or 5 degrees during the time, or even turning on fan only. It's a potential drop in your load. Next slide. And in order to sign up for both Community Solar and GridRewards, we can go over the step-by-step, and we'll provide guidance to do so. Thank you.
I'm going to hop in for a second here and just say thank you to both Claire and Michelle. And I did certainly want to let everyone know that for both programs, the sign up is relatively easy. It might require a tiny bit of patience, and for both programs, it requires some upfront information. So for Community Solar, the first information that you should bring with you as you sit down to sign up is a credit card or your account information, your banking information, commonly known as your ACH information. That's obviously easier to read than say. And then the sign up is relatively simple. And on our site, we do have a sign up video that can take you through the step-by-step and help you troubleshoot. We also want to say that at any point in time, that you'll always see a telephone number or an email on our site where you can either email or call for help. And when you call for help, you actually get Claire and members of her team who can walk you through and help you troubleshoot any snag or snafu. So I think that it is fairly straightforward. For GridRewards, it is also easy. I am going to be fully transparent and say that about 85% or so of the people who sign up literally do it in 10 or so minutes. Some people may encounter some glitches along the way. We provide a step-by-step tutorial on the site that helps you at any point in time go through and it'll take you through a screen-by-screen sign up. I mentioned earlier about that upfront information that's important to bring to the sign up process. In this instance, you're going to be asked to connect to your Con Ed account so that you can see your usage, etc. It is really going to be important for you to bring your Con Ed online login information. Now, I am aware that not everyone has online access to their Con Ed account. So with that said, you'd have to go to Con Ed first and set that up. That does not mean that you have to pay your bills online with Con Ed or that you have any auto payment that you're setting up for your actual Con Ed bills. It just means that you have access online to your account. It's that information that you'll be asked for in the grid rewards process. You see, we have a handy QR code. We have the links to Google Play or the Apple Store to download the Grid Rewards app. And then once you've set up a Grid Rewards account, the most important step midway through is that you now then need to connect to your Con Ed account. That's the point at which that handy information you brought with you will be really important. We have lots of information about this on our site, as I mentioned, including a step-by-step tutorial. And by tomorrow, we'll actually have a step-by-step video on the site. So that'll just make it even easier. We have also 2 dedicated ways for you to speak directly if you need tech help with either the Con Ed or with the Grid Rewards app or connecting to your Con Ed account. They are also listed on the site, but if anybody wanted to capture this information, it's gridrewards@logicalbuildings.com, and a hotline phone number that is dedicated during business hours, Monday through Friday, specifically for us, 908-517-3730. I saw Claire put in the chat that she'll be sending everyone this information in an email. Also, we've just added, as of today, 2 half-hour, what we're calling office hours, even though they're half hours, every Thursday. So that is Thursday 4:15, 4:22, and 4:29. There is a 12 noon and a 5 p.m. half hour that's dedicated for anyone who wants to hop on a Zoom call, and we'll put that information on the site shortly as well. We just actually got that all settled this morning, but you could hop on a Zoom call and maybe you'll be one of a few people, or maybe just one-on-one, and you can walk through the sign-up process for Grid Rewards. These are such valuable programs that we don't want anyone stuck or frustrated or having any kinds of issues signing up. And occasionally those things happen. So we want to make it as turnkey and easy for every single person. I'm going to add one last thing. Someone is here saying, oh my, I don't have smart technology, be it a smartphone or a tablet. There is an opportunity to sign up to the Grid Rewards desktop or, computer, laptop, desktop application. Those instructions are also on our site at sustainablewestchester.org/Grid Rewards. And there's a whole, there's a link there and you'll be able to sign up through your desktop. You get the exact same benefits and all of the same information as if you were doing it through your iPhone. The thing that you're missing is some of the pretty colorful graphics, but the end result is the same. You get to save money, learn about your usage, understand how to reduce energy and lower your carbon footprints. And importantly, you get to participate in those Grid Reward events that actually earn you cash payments or cash back at the end of the year. So I'm going to stop now and see.
I just want to add, thank you, Maria.
Sure.
One thing important to know is that you will earn more cash if you sign up before the end of this month.
Yes.
You still will earn some monies, but you maximize if you earn by the end, if you sign up by the end of the month. And please do not try to call Con Edison. Call the number or email on this email that's shown on the slide here, but don't try Con Ed. They're not going to be helping you through this process necessarily, unless it is an issue related to your account at Con Ed or credentials at Con Ed. Anything related to sign up with Grid Rewards and connecting your data with Con Ed and Logical Buildings is part of this assistance that we're offering here. Thank you.
And I also will say that this dedicated hotline, they're real people. Like when I said, you're getting Claire when you have questions about community solar, you're getting the folks at Logical Buildings. So you're not getting a call center. You're getting people who are intimately involved with the process and the application and have been troubleshooting for some time now, with other community or resident questions. So you're not going to feel frustrated that you're suddenly in some loop where you're being transferred from one person to the next. And I know Claire talked about the community solar signups that we have, but thus far, since we've been promoting GridRewards for the 2021 year, probably at the start of February. We have somewhere in the 700 to 800 number of signups. So we're inching closer to that 1,000 every day. And there's a steady stream of people taking advantage of this program. I will tell you, I was one of the pilot program folks, and it was easy to execute. The information that came to me was clear. I had ample time to take action. I wanted to be the big action winner. Unfortunately, somehow I missed that mark, but at the end of the year, I in fact did get a check, as did other folks. And some people got checks as high as $500, which is that number that we talk about, like up to 20% of your electricity bills. So that was good news for a lot of people. But the real good news is that we actually made an impact. And the more of us collectively that sign on to this program, the impact, as Michelle talked about, is being able to eliminate the use of firing up those peaker plants and maybe moving us all in the future to that clean energy transition where we're not reliant at all on those really dirty energy peaker plants, and that we can actually not only eliminate the use of them or limit the use of them, but truly eliminate them overall.